Erik, you said yourself, we're the better men. This is the time to prove it.
All right, everybody, what's going on? It's your boy LoganJYA Drytron here with my friend Erik, who I am happy to invite along to the channel as one of our new Drytron hailing from Germany. Erik, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, honestly. It's freezing out here, but it's nice. I'm really happy with my result. Yeah, honestly, like, I can't complain.
Speaking of the result, tell everybody what you did.
I went second place at the HDK tournament. It's like a regional-sized tournament with a lot of tradition here in Berlin. It was actually my first time competing there, but yeah, it went well. Can't complain.
Look at that. Comes in second. First time competing in the venue. Comes on in and smacks everybody up with our favorite deck, Drytron, baby. You gotta love to see it. So before we get into your profile and interview, I do have a few questions for you. The first one being, is there anybody you want to shout out before we dive on in?
Yeah, definitely. I want to shout out my team, Gamble Gaming. Just great guys. I remember it as it was yesterday. Like, I was there playing Top Cut, starving. All of them, like, we had dinner plans and I ruined them. But they all waited for me, with me in the venue, and then we went to eat something later. Yeah, it was great. Also, I want to shout out, like, my friends who will be watching this on YouTube. Gali.
Cool. Without further ado, we're going to dive into the profile, but everyone stick around to the end because we're going to be talking about matchups and what Drytron looks like going into 2024. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, Erik, let's start things off with those monsters.
All right. First of all, I don't have to explain to you why we're playing 3 of Alpha and Zeta.
Best cards in the deck, 2-card combo.
Definitely, like, honestly, the best 2-card combo in the game. To be
Agreed.
Fair. Next up, 3 Delta and 3 Gamma. I choose to play 3 of everyone to play around draw, because, like, if you draw 2 names on a draw, you're good to go. You make Fuko, and you'll be chilling. Like, they aren't OTKing you that turn.
Exactly. Now, I want to ask you this before we move on. How many times did you get game 1 drolled, if you can remember? Were there a lot of people main decking the droll at this event?
Honestly, yeah. Like, for the first 5 rounds, I kind of dodged it completely. Was really happy about that. And after that, I kind of got drolled every other game, honestly, in the first round.
But you found you found that Fuko pass was acceptable, and that's why we're doing the extra names. Even after your opponent had their turn, you were able to kind of break through it. That's what the deck does so well. So Fuko pass was enough in those situations?
Yeah, definitely. I remember one time where I did like Fuko pass and my opponent just set up. It was kind of hard to play around, but I lost that game, but I won the other 2 games, so it was fine. But most of the time, like 90% of the times, Fuko pass is fine. You are chilling. Like, what are they gonna do? Kaiju you? Like,
yeah.
It's round 1. Maybe they're playing Underworld Goddess. Nah. I don't see a world where you make Underworld Goddess and OTK. But honestly, if you can do it, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, respect. You earned it.
Next up, the Fairy package. I'm playing Shouju, Diviner, and 1 Orange Light. My opinion, it's a perfect ratio. Like, I wouldn't change any of those.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, the thing is, you maybe want to draw more fairies if you're playing Orange Light, but
I don't think it makes sense to, because it's too improbable to rely on hard drawing the orange and another fairy, no matter how you dice it, because if you do that, then you're also going to increase your chances of bricking. Rather see names than fairies.
Definitely. I thought about it, actually. I thought about running 3 of these to counter draw, but nah, it's cope. It's just cope. Plain on engine. Next up, the Ritual package. Obviously 3 Bentons. Just best card in the deck. Natasha.
Oh, baby. My queen right here. How many games did you steal with Natasha?
Way too many. Like, honestly, every game in Top Cut, I kind of just went for Natasha and to break a board and OTK. Honestly, every game I use Natasha. Every match. Yeah, every match.
Now, did it come up for time at all? Because sometimes that's very important, and we don't want to neglect the fact that Natasha has that sneaky life point game that can just put you up in the worst case scenario.
I did not went into time at any of those games, but in the feature match round 7, I think. Yeah, I think it was that. There were like 4 minutes left, and I had like way too less life points to actually just play normally, and I was really stressed, but I just keep gaining Natasha life points, and I was like, well, wait, actually, I don't really need to OTK. I just can punch him really hard, pass turn, and I'm shooting.
And make it impossible for him to win.
Yeah, so that worked great for me. Also, like, I had 5 people read Natasha because they all thought that was once per turn.
Nope.
Like,
Nope.
that's just the best feeling when they grab your Natasha and are like, what?
And you have how many Ben 10s equipped? Oh, no.
Because Beatrice is going to be a lot better after Transaction Rollback comes out. Is
Right.
playing the one of Edaten, like an additional Natasha target, and also like great card to make rank 6s.
So I'm going to pause you here because I know we're about to get into your win condition. I already know what it is, but let's talk about the future a little bit now. Transaction Rollback plus Thunder of Ruler and Amor Factor Pain, everybody knows, is going to be one of the easiest FTK routes for Drytron to take. How do you feel about that build of the deck?
While testing it, honestly, I was kind of disappointed because what I'm doing now with a Magician is just more consistent.
Right.
And Transaction Rollback requires you to play bricks in your deck. Like, if you draw it, okay, it's not that bad. You can discard it with, like, Nightmare cards. But I really don't think it's going to be the way to play Drytron, to be honest.
Yep, there he
This
is.
guy going to be a lot better going forward. Like, honestly, he's just the best win condition for the deck, in my opinion, since Dynamondo came out.
Speaking of win conditions, though, I do notice the absence of the Vanity's Ruler. Did you feel as though you didn't need him? Do you think it's a win more card? What are your thoughts on Ruler?
I played it for one event and then dropped it completely, never played it again. I really don't like the Vanity's Ruler. I understand people playing it, like it's great into Nibiru, but honestly, if you're playing the Magician combo, you can just search Orange Light on your 5th summon. Like, they can Nibiru you, but they're not dodging the Orange Light.
Right.
If they time it correctly. They're not dodging the Chaos Max, I mean. And also, I just don't like sitting on a body and hoping my opponent is not drawing the Imperm.
That's right, that's right. It is so susceptible to the Imperm, and even if you put up the Mirage Lights with it, you're going to be giving up the live Orange Light in hand to negate the Imperm. So it's like, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
But I honestly think it's a viable strategy to play it. It's not my playstyle, honestly.
Understandable. Let's keep rocking on.
Alright, for the last ritual monster, the Draconets. Obviously,
Yep, never cut them. Never cut them.
Never. Like, honestly, I just keep seeing how I search this guy without even having to use him. Like, just having him in your hand. Like, if I'm activating Meteornus and he just removes all my names from board, I have no names in hand, I'm fucked. But if I have this guy, I can literally ritual summon every other card in the deck. And it's just great into playing going second, my opinion.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Alright. For the searchers, we're playing the 3 of Nova and the 3 of Cyber Emergency. No field spell because it's playing into draw. The whole deck is like built to play against draw as competent as possible.
When you're going for your combo, let's just say it's game 1 blind, you don't even know what you're up against. You hard open Ben 10, or even let's say you don't hard open Ben 10, but you open Alpha Zeta. Are you still going to be searching off the Ben 10 with that first search, or are you going to go for the Chaos Max to play around a potential draw? How do you feel about that?
Game 1, I'm always going for the Ben 10 if I don't have it hard drawn. Game 2 and 3, I will always search the Chaos Max. Because, in my opinion, Droll is not a good main deck card. It hard loses to Unchained, like it's not great into Labyrinth, I think. And those are great decks. Honestly, I would never play Droll main deck. But some people do. And yeah, we kind of aren't prepared for those people, but it's fine. It's fine.
Put them on better habit. I get it.
Yeah. Then the little tech you saw in the finals of the HDK. The 2 of Meteornus, I will never cut one of those. Like, first of all, you need it for your going first Magician combo. And second of all, it's just, like, way too much gas if you have 2. Just having the option to search another one when you already have 1 in rotation is way too big.
Agreed.
Then next up, we have the non-engine. The, like, best card for me this tournament. Called by the Grave.
Sacked by the Grave.
Shit, I just couldn't stop drawing the card, man. I don't know. Like, I completely sacked half of my opponents in Top Cut with it. Like,
this is what tells me that you are Drykage material. Is the fact that you keep drawing Called by, baby.
Yeah, like I honestly can't even tell you how many draws I negated with this. Like, oh man, it just feels so good if you have it. It's just pure.
Yes, agreed.
Alright, next up, we have the 3 of Forbidden Droplet. Just a phenomenal card in Drytron, honestly, like, I don't think there's a better staple to play in a deck. You can discard all your names, obviously, like I don't have to tell you.
Yeah.
And it deals with like my main concern for like the Rescue Ace matchup, which is the Abyss Dweller.
Right.
It works against like every win condition people throw at you except for trap cards, of course.
Right.
I don't really have to worry about like the trap matchups because honestly, like decks with that good of an engine most of the time can play through it. I know it's kind of ironic that I lost to Labyrinth when I'm saying this now, but I stand by it. And yeah, I think Droplet just really deals with every deck you are struggling against, like those hard combo going first dice roll decks. You can't play through, yeah.
And the best part about Droplet is you can also kill them after you do it. It's excellent.
Yeah, like you can kill them really good. Like I OTK'd so many people with Droplet and Dragonets. It's like honestly insane.
Perfect.
Next up, I'm playing the Triple Thrust.
Okay, we're maining the Thrust, and I know where this is going, so keep going.
Definitely. Just like another tech against Droll, because if they Droll you, okay, like you won't go as crazy as you can, but you can kind of set up for next turn, look what you need, set it, make Fuko pass, and be chilling.
Right.
So I'm playing like these 4 targets.
Talents, Foolish, Prep, and Imperm. Okay, cool.
Like the talents is self-explanatory, obviously. Like these 2 cards are just every engine card in your deck you can wish for. Obviously, you can also just search any of these searchers. And the Imperm is like a placeholder for a side deck card I'm playing, which is a hard going first card. I will show you later. But honestly,
I know what it is.
I was just afraid of drawing it when I go second, so I just thought, okay, an Imperm is fine, you know, if they draw me, I can just set Imperm, it's an interruption, you know. Like, Thrust always turns into at least an Imperm, and that's great.
Agreed. Alright, let's move on. So that's the whole main deck. Let's get into the extra.
Whole main deck. Clean 40.
Perfect.
Wouldn't change anything in the main deck, honestly. Next up is the extra deck. Obviously, we are playing the 2 Moibeda. Then, like the main anti-draw tech, Fuko. Like he's a known broken card in Drytron. I just abused them like for, I don't know, 2 years now, and I never cut him out of my Drytron deck. Like the card is just insane.
I did try and cut it for the Leerlusk, and then I immediately switched back because I realized that the Leerlusk sucks in comparison. The ability to attack directly is not worth the trade-off of the fact that there is infinitely more things that can out it.
Yeah, definitely. Like I started up playing the Leerlusk and then swapped to Fuko and never changed back. It's like just a phenomenal card.
Agreed.
Next up, we're playing the Beatrice.
Who signed that? Who signed that?
Sim.
Oh my gosh! Oh, I hope he's doing okay. I miss Tatsum. Oh, good man.
I'm too like I heard he's playing Pokemon now, but when he sold all his YuGiOh stuff, I was like, okay, well I need a rarity upgrade for my Beatrice, so I bought this from him.
Shout out to Tatsum, everybody. We're shouting out one of the OGs as well on the Drytron wave. Let's keep rocking.
All right. Next up, we have the Donut and the Zeus.
Yep, the
Obviously,
package.
like just another toolbox option for going second. It's great. I actually made Zeus a lot, and it really helps. Next up, I'm playing Relinquished Anima. Not the Linkuriboh, because I'm not playing any Link monsters I'm afraid to like put up in the zones where Anima is blocking them, because we can just make Dynamondo.
Right.
Yeah, and then have the Link arrow down to make the Herald of Mirage Light. So like your go-to end board is literally just these 2 cards.
Right.
And you're chilling.
And one cool side note I just want to point out about that end board, for those who aren't unaware, like, I sometimes fear that when you go for the Chaos Max build and you're extending your board, you might be playing it as something like a Super Poly. This end board does not lose to Super Poly at any point. So you don't even need the Vanity's Ruler to play around it.
Actually, my opponent round 7 had the out, and it was Super Poly. The
Wait, how?
Earth Golem Edignester needs a Cybers and a Link monster, and Dynamondo is a Cybers monster, and Herald is a Link monster.
Well, he was playing that weird target, but fair enough. Actually, it is a bit more common, right? Because they use it against the Rescue Ace.
I think so, yeah, but honestly, he didn't notice, and I can't blame him for it. Like, why is this guy Cybers? What the fuck? Like,
You're right.
And then I'm playing a Unicorn and Access Code. Obviously, like, we can all agree that Boris Sword is just the better card in Drytron, but I expected a lot of people to just go for monkey decks. And into controlled matchups, I really love Access Code because he can out stuff like Skill Drain.
Yep. And you get a plethora of attributes to stick in the graveyard as well, with Dynamondo being an Earth. You got your Darks locked and loaded.
Love the Underworld Goddess, which I never summoned. I even played against purely round 8, didn't have to use it. Just a great card, which doesn't really come up that much, but when it does, does it feel right? Like I will actually, I thought about, like, I will probably change these 3 spots going on in the future to like Boreal Sword, SP, and Typhoon.
Okay.
But for the event, I think it was fine.
And
like,
that being no, I agree, and it's a good safety net to have. And Drytron can put up 4 bodies like it's nobody's business. But on that point, so you weren't playing the Little Knight for this event, correct?
No, I wasn't.
Was there any situations where you missed it?
Yeah, yeah, tons of. Honestly, I didn't really wanted to spend $100 on this card, but after realizing how broken it really is, after seeing all these situations where I could have played better because of it, like, gotta bite the apple and buy it.
Yeah, unfortunately. All good. All right, well, and the last 2 slots, I'm guessing just the Herald targets? Yep.
All right, yeah. Honestly, kind of an argument to maybe cut Diviner because of these 2, but honestly, I wouldn't do it right now. Maybe in the future if there's another good normal summon, you can search.
Right, but it does give you that, as we were talking about earlier, that flexibility when you're going second. And that spot removal from Entis, you just can't sleep on it.
Yeah, definitely. Especially into control matchup, it's crazy. I actually fucked up Diviner play one time because I forgot my opponent has Branded Opening in the graveyard and I target Demirror Jade.
Oh, no! It's got a Banish Protect, right?
Yeah, like banish for cost, and then not even for cost, like it's like the Salaman Great Link 1.
Right.
Like
it's a replacement. Yeah.
Yeah. Then next up, the side deck. First up, I'm playing the Quadrantine. Just a phenomenal card in my opinion, and I don't really get why so little Drytron players are playing this card. Like, it's just insane into control matchups, honestly.
Right, so I want to ask you this. If you're going first into a matchup like... Labyrinth isn't the greatest example because they do have a lot of monster effects that do fold to the Chaos Max, but more just generally, broadly speaking, if you're going into a heavy back row matchup, do you try and find a way to put the Quandradids on your end board, or do you save it until the following turn, like that turn 2, where you could summon it out and clear everything out?
If I'm playing against control deck, except Labyrinth, my go-to end board is like... make Mubeda with the material, make Quadrant Sheet. Card is crazy. Another crazy card which didn't came up in the whole tournament for me was Lancia. Like, the searchable one-off in the side deck. It's insta-win against decks like Dragon Link, Dino. I just love it. Wouldn't cut it.
I want to ask you this. Now that Harp Horror is legal, did you run into any Orcus players?
I didn't. But I saw Orcus left and right when I played. Like, it was crazy. I was really hyped to play against Orcus, honestly. Because, like, this card...
Bro, it's a free matchup. It's literally a free matchup for Drytron.
It's so free. One thing, they are playing Bestials. So that's might be a concern. But that's why I'm playing the 3-off Ghost Spell.
Excellent.
On the
Going
side
first or second.
Yeah, it's a great card. Like, great hand trap. I'm not a fan of running hand traps in the main deck in Drytron. Because you don't have that much non-engine space that you can completely drown your opponent in hand traps. But also, like, everyone is on talents and thrusts, and you make these cards live this way. So I'm just playing them on the side, just using them defensively. If they're trying to crow or bestial me, I can just discard a bear. It's really good.
Absolutely. Now, I just want to put out a little bit of knowledge there for our viewers right now, because I'm sure you're aware of this, Erik, but, like, folks, when you're going for the Chaos Max lock and your opponent attempts to hit you with a Bestial at any point and you counter it with the Bell, when you're going for your end board, be sure to end on just the Dynamond. That way, when they go for the Bestial effect in their draw phase, perhaps they won't be able to because you won't be controlling a monster. They'll have no window to hit off your Chaos Max. I just want to put that out there for people. It's a good thing to keep in mind. Because when you know that they have the Bestial, Bell doesn't negate and destroy, you got to make sure that you do your end board in a way where you're not going to lose to it a second time. That's all.
Yeah, also it's crazy if your opponent has Magnamut, because if he's Bestial,
right.
Using a Bestial, searching another, and you just end on Dynamondo and you're smiling. The next side deck card I'm playing is Denko Sekka.
I love this. Honestly, oh my gosh. Oh, this is so cool. Tell me all about it.
I'm honestly playing this for like ages at this point, I don't think Drytron going second or going first is really that dependent on a normal summon. Like, it's free, and also this card is literally an FTK against 90% of all control decks, if you time it right. And yeah, it's like the same thing with the Magician of Black Chaos Max, but for purple cards. I love it.
Right. Now, if you bring this in against, this is just a silly question. I'm not sure if we both know the answer to this one, but if you bring this in against would you bring this in against Rescue Ace? Because does it not kill the Turbulence effect set?
You mean going first, like normal it, pass, and then they can't go Turbulence?
Well, I mean, yeah, well, you know, you could normal it, and you could still probably set up the Chaos Lock or something, but I just to kill all their back row.
I won't bring it in going first, but going second, I will always side all 3 copies going against Rescue Ace.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Let's rock on.
Alright. Next up, because, yeah, as said, we don't need our normal summon, I'm playing Lava Golem. I honestly thought that more people are going to be playing Vanadium or be, like, cooking with the new released IP. So I wanted to be prepared against those hard combo decks where you can't, like, droplet them because they have, like, Omni-Negate trap cards and stuff like that. But sadly, the Lava Golem never came up for me. I played one Vanadium guy and never drawed.
Darn. But you still cooked him?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, cards I always sided in and never drew. Evenly matched. Phenomenal card. I love it in Drytron because you don't have like the need to OTK, because you can just set up the Magician Lock, turn skip them for a round and be chilling after you skip your battle phase. Yeah, it just goes to show you, like, I played 6 cards against like purple decks, purple card decks, and played 1 Labyrinth opponent. So yeah, I was definitely expecting a lot more trap decks. And then, finally, the last card, the Harpy's Featherstorm. Just another degenerate win condition we can side in.
So I have to ask, man, this is for context for everybody. I think you're probably aware, we've done tutorials about this, but the Featherstorm goes with the Fuko. If you end up getting hand trapped to death or drolled specifically, you can go thrust to set it. I have to ask you, Eric, how many people did you do that exact play to?
The exact play I did like once.
Okay.
Yeah, but in the feature match it came up because I just hard drew it, set it, made Fuko on turn 3 and just negated in a bureau like that. So it was still a great card for me, even though it didn't come up that much. But I always sided it in when I go first. Like my go-to choices was like put out the Imperm, put out the Droplet, and get these 4 cards in.
Yeah,
when I went first.
That's a perfect side deck strategy, and I appreciate you sharing that too. For folks who, that's something that you don't often always see, is like, what are the exact side out targets? So you're saying when you're going first, you know for a fact Droplets comes out, Imperm comes out, and we got an easy clean 3 that you're bringing in, and then of course variability depending on the matchup. Say you're going against like some Floowandereeze, which you shouldn't be losing if you're going first, but you're bringing that Lancia just as a secondary option, things like that.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Honestly, I love Lancia. You can just make Fuko, search Lancia, and then chill if they shifter you.
Oh yeah, it doesn't even matter. And it's not, and the other thing I want to say is your build is well logically thought out. You know, we got the clean 40 main deck, the win con is simple but effective, and the way that you have the deck built, it's like very, very streamlined. The maximized names, it screams your proficiency with the technical play that comes along with playing Drytron. So I just want to commend you on how well you've put everything together. You clearly put a lot of thought into it, and it paid off.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I just try to go for like the most consistent way to Magician Lock my opponent every single time, yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so let's round things out talking about those matchups, and we'll bring this video to a close. All right, Eric, so let's hear a little bit more about your matchups. Walk us through what the tournament looked like for you.
All right, so my first round was really disappointing. It was a bye. And I was like going into the whole tournament thinking like, okay, so if I get 2 losses, I have no chance to get top cut. This is going to be rough. But honestly though, I didn't really expect much from the tournament, so it was like, alright. Round 2, I played against Vanadium. I lost the dice roll and then like played I think 2 and 1. Game 1, he just set up Soulboard. I couldn't beat it. Like, didn't draw any non-engine.
In that Game 1 situation where, yes, he put up an insurmountable board, did you just straight up scoop it up, or did you try and break it?
I tried to break it, honestly. Like, I made Fuko, tried to Zeus him, forced out a few negates there, and then I went for, like, Diviner normal summon. But he just had it all. There was no possibility for me to play through there.
Fair enough.
Then game 2, I just Magician locked him, going first because he didn't draw any hand traps. And
Easy
game
peasy.
3 was really interesting. He put up the same board again, but I drew Droplet. And I found a way to force out like the trap. So I could kind of break his board, make Zeus, chill around, play on a crackback. Was great.
Perfect.
Round 3, I was completely clapped by Rika. Like,
Oh,
2-0 me. No shot. Like, it was a friend of ours who didn't play Yu-Gi-Oh! For 3 years because he didn't like the time rules. Then decided to suddenly play again, and honestly, the guy is just cracked. I respect him so much. Like, he's super calm and collected, plays all the correct lines, and I do not regret losing against him. Like, honestly, I was like, okay, you're the better player, obviously. You will.
Yeah, I respect that. Absolutely respect it.
Yeah, then round 4, I played against Telemans, lost the dice roll, and 2-0'd him. Because honestly, it's kind of sad to see it, because Telemans is like your main antagonist for the Drytron deck because of the Shizu cards. But
Right.
now it's just like you clap him left and right. Like, it's kind of sad, honestly.
Low key, and don't tell the tier players I'm saying this, but like Drytron is kind of the better graveyard deck compared to tier elements nowadays with their nuts chopped off without the Ishizus.
Oh yeah, definitely. But honestly, I still kind of like the Telemans deck. I'm really sad at the same time. I'm happy that it's gone. Like, obviously I'm happy I can play Drytron again on tournaments and don't lose to Telemans shufflers. But it was such a cool deck, man.
Nah, I'm with you. I play tier 2, so don't worry. I get it. Let's keep going.
All right, round 4, I went against Tri-Brigade Fire King. Won the dice roll, just Magician locked him in the first round. And then I was like expecting a huge board, and he literally just set up the rank 8 Xyz and passed. And I didn't drew great. I don't really remember what I drew, but it was enough to like play around that card and just OTK him.
How do you feel about the Fire King matchup for Drytron?
Like, I don't want to sound too cocky, but it's like free.
Okay, one more question. How do you feel about Fire King in general? Do you think it's that good of a deck?
I think it's a really cool deck. I don't think it's a good deck. I think it's really overhyped, but I respect the players because I really love those resource-oriented decks that just play for every round. And Fire King is one of them, definitely. But I just don't think the interruptions they put up are that great, especially against Drytron. Because, like, they remove your board, alright, you still have a Benton in hand, you milled the Gamma, you're playing. They have, like, IPs, make an SP, and like that's just not enough to stop Drytron, honestly.
Agreed.
Next up, I played Fire King again.
Easy.
And won 2-0 again. I won the dice roll again. I don't know, like round 1, I just Magician locked him through roll, I think, because I just hard drew the Benton. And I don't really remember round 2, but yeah, I think it was like just the same thing over again.
Gotcha.
Against the other Fire King player. Round 7 was the feature match against Rescue Ace. And like, it's kind of embarrassing to admit it, but it was actually my first time playing against like a well-built Rescue Ace deck. I never experienced the matchup at locals. I only played against it on Dueling Book when it came out.
Yeah.
So I knew kind of what all the cards did, but I was like not 90% sure, so I had to ask him a lot. But it worked out great for me because he forgot he had the Earth Golem Edignista in his extra deck.
Oh yeah, he didn't know. He didn't check that Dynamondo. Didn't see how it worked out. Good.
Yeah. Then round 8, I lost the dice roll against Purely and 2-0'd them. Like, I honestly don't even know how I did it, but he just couldn't get to Noir somehow. So, in the first game. In the first game, he just couldn't get to Noir. He made like 2 Xyz, passed, and I just OTK'd him. Round 2, he made Noir, and I searched for Natasha, and then he just started shotgunning every interruption, but I had just enough gas to go ahead and play through that.
Right, once it's not unaffected anymore, you took away your biggest weapon. But then again, you have the answer in the extra deck, so you probably weren't sweating too much.
No, I wasn't, but I didn't have to use it. Sadly, honestly, because, yeah, I couldn't play it once.
No worries.
Then we are going to the top cut. Top 16, I played against Branded Chimera. It was like a weird build because he played a lot of illusion cards that I have never seen before. So it was a bit tricky because he just kept reviving them when I tried to go for game. But yeah, we managed. Natasha's just a broken card, honestly. Like I just stole everything he had.
Guys,
he was one of those guys who had to read Natasha multiple times to believe it's not once per turn.
People will learn someday when Drytron's back on the top.
I hope so. The top 8 game was against the Telemans player. Great guy, but I just drew called by like.
What you gonna do?
2 out of 3 games, and just he went for a toad play in 1 round, and I drew the called by for turn, and it was like, all right, this is how it's going to play out. Yeah, was a fun one, but I kind of sacked him.
Hey, is what it is. Sacking's half the game.
That's true. Top 4 against Dinkabui on like I think 54 card branded pile. I don't really know what he did play, but he's always cooking. Yeah, but game 1 he like couldn't really make that big of a board. I had an imperm to negate like the Quem summon in my round. So I was like faced by Magnus Pass or Magus. I think he's named Magus. Yeah, that was just not enough. So I kind of did I OTK there? I don't even know. But I won that game.
Yes.
Then the rest of the game went like I lost another round, and then I won another round. I don't really know how it played out exactly, but it's in the feature match.
Gotcha. We can go back and watch. Link will be in the description.
Alright, perfect. And then the last game against Labyrinth. It's the game that's like I hate to admit it, but I misplayed badly in the first game. I had like Delta and Gamma, and I went Gamma Tribute Delta to kind of bait out the Daruma Karma Cannon. I thought he had a Daruma Karma Cannon set. I did not expect him to have a Dogmatic Punishment set. I was like, okay, book my board. I'm tributing the Delta for the Choju, and then searching, and then start to play with the Delta. That was my game plan. But yeah, I did not expect the Dogmatic Punishment, and well, got punished for it.
Well, all the pun intended, but hey, it's all good. Man, you still performed very, very well regardless of the outcome of the final things. You said it yourself. You didn't expect to go all the way to the top. Now, I have to ask you this. Looking at Drytron as a deck in 2024, how do you feel it squares up against the rest of the meta?
Well, I think it's a competent pick. It's not the best pick, obviously, but if you like to play it, if you're good at it, it's a pick as good as any other, in my opinion. The main problem is you don't have any like interaction if your opponent is going first, and that's a problem. Like none of the decks are doing anything really unfair right now. Like Transaction Rollback isn't really a card yet, but it will be. So you kind of have a good matchup against those decks who are putting up like mid-rangey end boards, because you can just play through that with enough gas. But yeah, people are playing a lot of Droll these days, and that's a problem for this format especially. But I think it will change, because people always tended to like swap Ash and Droll in the format. And I think going forward there will be a lot less Droll, so the deck will get better. But then again, I'm expecting a lot of people to be frustrated by the price of Bonfire and stuff like that, and just pick up Flunder. And you don't want to see Flunder as your opponent. Like, you don't have that many bad matchups, because people stop playing Bestials, because like everyone and his mother's playing a fire deck right now. So you don't have to deal with those most of the time. Like Bestial Runic is a thing. It was like my main concern going into the tournament, but didn't have to face it once. Yeah, but I think the deck is in a great spot right now, honestly. My main concern about me continuing to play this deck is that Silent Force is coming out, and the deck looks really exciting, so I might drop the deck for a while, but... Well,
how about this? Eric, I got a mission for you. After the Silent Forks come out, I want you to let us know, which one do you like better?
I mean, honestly, I can already answer that. It will be Drytron. It is and will be always my favorite deck. definitely.
My man. And on that note, I'm proud to declare Erik as our new Drykage over in Germany. The man, the myth, the legend has proven time and time again that he is deserving of this title. So my friend, kudos to you for your excellent performance, and thank you so much for coming onto the channel and sharing your story with us all. Anything else you want to say before we close things out?
Yeah, Natasha is a card.
All right, everybody. That's everything from me today. LoganJYA signing off. Have a great day. I'll see you beautiful people later. Peace.